Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Lindsay. I'm going to be doing something a bit different for the first part of the video. I just wanted to do a quick tutorial on the RealReal and their new commission structure. I know a couple people have asked about it, so I thought I would just jump in and share my screen and just kind of go over a couple of the changes with you guys. Overall, I think it's been pretty minimal, but of course it's not in the favor of the consignor. There are now 4 tiers. I am the VIP, which is the tab that I'm on. And there's really no difference with being a VIP other than when you make a sale of $200 or more, you get an extra 5% than the lower levels. But the 150 to 199, the 100 to 149, and the 0 to 99, those are all the same no matter what tier you're at. And then on the left-hand side, you can kind of see the different categories. This is clothing and more that I'm showing, but there's handbags, fine jewelry, watches, and then men's sneakers and collectibles. The majority of the items that I send in are clothing and more, so I'm just going to leave it on this tab here. And as you can see, for the 0 to 99, you're only going to be getting 20% of what that item sells for. That is something that has also changed with the new structure. Before, you were locked in at a certain percentage. So say you have a pair of shoes that were listed at $350, which would be a 65%, but they sold after being discounted down, maybe sold for $150. You would still be locked in at that 65% commission rate. But now, at least as far as I'm understanding, it's based on the sold price. So the longer it sits, the more they're going to discount it down, and then you're going to be subject to the lower commission rate. So that is also something to take into consideration when you're deciding if you want to send an item into the RealReal. If you are not familiar with the RealReal at all, it is a strict consignment website for luxury goods. So when I send a box to them, it is completely out of my hands. I don't need to do anything. They list it, they authenticate it, they sell it, they handle any returns if applicable, and then on the 15th of the following month, I will receive my payout. So what I like to do before deciding if I'm going to send an item in is just kind of do some research for how much that item is selling for on the RealReal currently. And there are some brands that I'll be seeing in the designer boxes that are usually good ones to stay away from sending in. Examples of that would be like Diane von Furstenberg, Derek Lam for the most part. A lot of the Prada shoes that we see in the boxes. Prada clothing and purses do very well, but a lot of the shoes I have not had success sending in. They may be priced around like that 125 mark, which now would be the 30% commission, and then can easily go below that, if somebody has a coupon or they offer a percentage off after it's been sitting for a while. So in those cases, there will be a lot of items that I won't even get my cost of goods back on, depending on, if I chose to send that in versus sell myself. So if you just go to the front screen on the RealReal, I'll just kind of briefly show you how to search for the items. The item that was fresh in my mind was a couple weeks ago, I got a pair of Derek Lam shorts, and they were brand new with the tag, and I know the price was in the high 300s, I believe, retail. So if you go into the search bar and type in the Derek Lam shorts, and then on the left-hand side, you can kind of use the filters to narrow it down. So I like to see, maybe even if they have that exact pair on the website and what it might be selling for. So if you go to women, clothing, and then shorts, And then you can also select items new with the tag. And the first part that will come up are the items that are newest to the website. So you can see here, they have a pair that was initially listed for $60. That's discounted now at $48. And then $52, $45.50, $38.50. And look at this one. It has the estimated retail of $340. And it's now 40% off at $30. So if I were to send that in and it would sell for $30, I would only get 20%. I would get $6 for those. So that would be a very good item to try to sell yourself, because it's certainly not going to be worth it to send in there. There could be exceptions to it. Maybe you've tried to list the item and you just can't sell it, and you're willing to take, whatever you could get for it, then you may decide to go that route. But if you're just, trying to send them everything just because it's a brand they accept, you could run into some scary territory with some of the prices that they're going to be assigning these items. So, like I said, the default search is by what's newest to the website first. And then if you sort over here, you can go by sold items first, and then that'll show you what the recent solds were, which are very similar to the listed prices. That would be a brand, in my opinion, to stay away from sending in there. And as well as like the Diane von Furstenberg, Sandro, stuff like that that's not super high end. Your Prada clothing, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, if it's a purse. I have sent in a couple pairs of Louis Vuitton shoes that did not do well at all. So you really just need to do your research to see if the RealReal is going to be a good option for you. And looking at the comps. So you know how to look at the comps on the RealReal. Do the same on Poshmark and see what they are and compare them to see what would be the better option for you. And there could be instances where, maybe you're getting a floor length gown that just would be a lot of work for you to list, and you're not going to be able to get a great photograph of it. So maybe that's one that you would take the risk to have them take care of, because they're going to be taking their own pictures. And in most cases, they can sell the items fairly quickly. They do keep discounting them down as long as it takes to sell. You do have a whole year to sell your item. So far, I have not had any items that have expired. They've discounted them enough that they were able to move the sale. And at that point, it could be 70, 80% off of what they initially priced it at, but it's still being able to be sold. And once it's been on the site for a while, it's also not eligible for return if somebody does buy it at that point, which is nice. But I wanted to just give you a brief overview. I'm not really fully up to speed on the changes yet. All I know is that it was not favorable to the consignor, especially being on the VIP tier. It makes no difference unless it's a $200 plus item. So again, just try to stay away, especially from that 0 to 99 category, because you're surely going to be disappointed when you only get, $6 to $12 for an item that you could sell for much more on Poshmark. Thing I wanted to mention, so when you're on your sale page, if you scroll all the way over to the right, it does have a list of accepted designers, and you can either type in or just look alphabetically. And then there will be some that have the blue exclamation point next to them, and that just means that of that brand, they only accept certain things. So I know I've run into that with, I believe, the Armani is an example, this Imperio Armani. So it does list the items that they will take. And then if you send in anything that doesn't meet that criteria, most likely they're going to reject it and send it back to you. So that's a good tool just to see, what designers they do accept. And when you do your first consignment, you'll be going to the Sell With Us tab, and that'll pull up the option that you can do either a at-home appointment or the ship to us. They also have an option where UPS can pick up the package for you. I always do the ship to us and then just drop it off at the UPS store. They send you a free shipping label. So once you're on there, then you'll just create your packing list. So example, women's fashion and accessories. And then sometime this branding tab can run a little slow. And say we're going to do a pair of Chanel shoes, and then you would just hit add the item, and then it goes onto the packing list. So you add as many items as you want onto the list. And once you complete this, especially after your first order, you may get a text or a phone call from a representative at the RealReal, just reaching out to see if you need assistance. I've had the same rep for quite a while now. And one of the things that's really good about that is they are available if you want to send in pictures of your item for an upfront quote. So I can just text her what the item is, the condition, a few pictures, and then she can let me know if it was accepted, what it would be listed for on the site. So that's a great way to weed out something that you might be on the fence about before just sending it in and then having to request to get it back. I think that's about all I wanted to show you guys. And if you do have any further questions or anything that I might have missed, please let me know and I'd be happy to discuss it on another video. I appreciate you watching this portion, and we will move on now to the unboxing.
Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Lindsay and I sell part-time on Poshmark and the RealReal. I post mystery unboxing videos of my online mystery boxes every Monday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I source inventory from ThredUP, the Goodwill Blue Box, America's Thrift Supply. So if you do enjoy that type of content, please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up for me if you enjoy the video, and leave a comment below. So today I'm going to be opening a designer box from ThredUP. And before I open the box, I just wanted to remind you something that I mentioned a while back about the RealReal. If you send something into them that, you know, they reject for whatever reason, but you believe they made a mistake, you know, like they said, there's too much exterior staining, it's not authentic, you know, it's discolored, something like that, but you believe they made an error, don't hesitate to send it back in. I've had at least a half a dozen instances where they haven't taken something the first time, and then I've waited a little bit and sent it back in, and then probably somebody else has looked at it, and then they've gone ahead and accepted it and listed it at a great amount. And you can also see, you know, the reason why they're rejecting it. So if they say something has too much staining, you know, maybe you overlooked a stain and you can clean it up, or, you know, just do something simple to get it to meet their standards. But just for instance, and I'll just give you this example real quick. And at this point, they have not given me a price yet on it, but they did accept the item this time. It was a nylon zip Prada tote that I got in a designer box from ThredUP. And it did come with the green authentication tab. So ThredUP had authenticated it. And I had sent it to the RealReal because they priced some of my other Prada bags really high. And I just thought that it would be the best option to sell it more quickly through them. So I sent it in, and they declined it, saying that they could not authenticate it, that it was missing or the wrong, you know, code. Whatever it is on the Prada bag, it's like a 2 or 3 digit code on a white tab. So they were saying they could not find it, or it didn't have the right number. But, you know, I got the bag back. It had the little code, you know, right underneath where the Prada nameplate was. Everything else looks pretty good on the bag, other than the interior did not have the normal Prada lining that it has. But I did see other listings on Fashion File and somewhere else where it was just plain lining in it. So I decided to go ahead and send it back to them. And this was probably after a couple months have gone by. but they've now authenticated it and accepted it. So, you know, I think it's worth, if you feel like they missed something, just go ahead and send it back in because you have nothing to lose. So just wanted to share that real quick. And this designer box that we're looking at today did come from Swanee, Georgia. And I believe this was in the same shipment as the last designer box I opened. I ordered them on the same day, I believe. And this was ordered on December 5th, and you get 7 items for $140 plus tax. It is considered DIY, so the items do have issues normally. And here is a first look. And it looks like we have some clothing items on top. Actually, the first item is a purse. And this is a denim shoulder bag by Marc Jacobs. So it's got a cute, you know, little floral thing there. And then it says Marc, and then that little zipper pull. So this is definitely a different style, very boho. The interior, there's a big hole in it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is ripped. Now, it's not through to the outside, but it's an interior rip. The zipper does function well. And there are some stains and discoloration. So I don't know if this is an older purse. I have never seen this type of style. I also don't know much about Marc Jacobs purses either, but it's certainly a unique one for me. And it has a side pockets. So I think that this would still sell, you know, to a Marc Jacobs enthusiast. Cute little shoulder bag. Not the best brand to be getting in the box, but, you know, sometimes the lesser brands, if you can get a decent price for them, they go better than the high-end brands if they're too damaged. So it just depends. And next up we have Armani. I don't love getting this brand just because the RealReal doesn't take it, and a lot of times it's just boring type pieces. But I did get that really nice blazer in the last box that I opened. And these are just a pair of trousers. And I don't see a size, but there could be an interior tag that is missing here. So I will look into those, but those are nothing exciting. I know the brand, you know, it costs a lot to buy, but it doesn't resell for the most money. And next I have a piece by Nanchka. And this is a rental retiree and an extra small. And it looks like a silk dress, or it's a jumpsuit actually. So I mentioned this before, the rental retirees are easy to get a stock photo on the renttherunway.com. This does have an issue though. It looks like this part has come unsewn because the other side is attached. So that's very unfortunate, but it looks like it would be an easy repair. It is a cute jumpsuit with a nice paisley print, and then it has a really wide leg. So I will have to look into that to see if that is worth repairing or what I might do with it. So far, not the best box, but the rest we have shoes here. First up is a pair of, this is worn out on there. Let's see if I can read it on the other one because it's not a normal brand that I'm familiar with. Let's see. Giannini Rossi in a size 37. I believe that's a brand. And they are a very worn ankle strap flat sandal in a metallic, and then has that green rhinestone little embellishment there. And there's some wear on the toe and quite a bit of wear back here. So, I mean, you're not going to see a lot of it once you have your foot in there. It looks like surprisingly all the rhinestones are on the embellishment. So that's good. So I will have to research that brand. I don't know how that might do. It's always interesting getting different brands in these boxes, so you learn what to look for, what does well and what doesn't. Those are interesting. And next up, yay! So these will save the box. They are a pair of Chanel clogs. They have the CC there. And they're a size 37 and a really pretty chocolate brown leather. So these will do well. They're in good shape. There's like an indentation or something there. And this is kind of coming up, but that's really not a big deal. So those are fabulous. And I feel like the clogs are, you know, in style right now. So, you know, they need a little bit of a touch up, but nothing major. So those are great, and they're really lightweight. I don't know if these are possibly vintage. I did have a pair of like clog sandals that I sold not too long ago. So I'm thrilled with these. Thank you, thank you. And next up is a pair of Burberrys. And these are a cute espadrille wedge in a 36. So these have the little, you know, Burberry check pattern on them, which is good. And a patent leather crisscross. So I think I've only gotten one pair of Burberry shoes before, and they were a pair of ankle boots and did really not comp that well. So I don't know if it's all Burberry shoes that don't really resell that well or if it was just those. But these are in pretty nice condition. So I'm happy with those. So two out of 3 on the shoes so far. And next up we have a pair of Christian Louboutins. And these are a cheetah calf hair. And there's definitely a little bit of wear at the toe there and a lot of wear on the back. These are a size 38.5. Looks like they've been resold. So that's a bummer. These looked like a much larger size than that. So I was hoping they might be my size. But yeah, those would be way too small. But that has quite a bit of wear to it. But I think they can still be listed and sold as is. The calf hair is really, really soft. And they were definitely well-loved shoes. You know, probably somebody wearing them with pants or something, just all that rubbing on them. But they are very pretty. So that was it. That was 7 items. So we have number 1 with the Christian Louboutins. Number 2 with the Burberry espadrilles. Number 3 with this brand, which I believe is Giannini Rossi for 3. 4 with the wonderful Chanel clogs. And then we had 5 with this jumpsuit by Nanushka. 6 with the Armani pants. And 7 with the Marc Jacobs. So very interesting box overall, but there's definitely an easy to get my money back with just the Chanel's. So for that, I'm very grateful. But in general, there were some interesting pieces in there. I appreciate you watching, and let me know what your favorite item was. I will see you back on another video real soon. Take care.